Laugh out loud. So how long do you think this COVID, I think she meant COVID situation is gonna be going on for?
So they use up all the vaccines.
This is random, but how old is too old to call the person you're in a relationship with boyfriend and girlfriend? Laugh out loud. Seen any new movies? Hi everybody, welcome back to our
Happy
channel.
New Year!
Jesus Christ. I was gonna say that.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, scare the hell out of me. Thanks for the well wishes, you guys. We were sick last week. Everyone's gonna think it's COVID.
It might have been.
It might have been. Who knows at this point? But thank you for the well wishes. We appreciate that. We're going to answer some random, I guess, questions, comments. There was actually a couple of ones I want to do next week. There's somebody who I think his name is Age of Echo Chambers. He wanted to talk about misanthropy. Ever heard of this?
No.
It's the okay, so like misogyny, misogynistic. That would mean the hatred of women, and then this is the kind of like the hatred of men, and like, you know, he was wanting to talk about that. So I thought that was really interesting. So I actually do want to talk about that, but I want it to be a longer. That'd be a longer video, so we might talk about that next week.
It's called what?
Misanthropy. Let me make sure I'm saying it right. I know I've read about this, and you know, people have talked.
The hatred of men is called feminism.
Right. Right.
We don't need new words.
But I do want to talk about it because this is a interesting, so larger conversation. You guys know that we're not feminists. We don't, that whole thing is just annoying to us, and this is kind of like a part of that. So you are right. You are right. That is kind of hatred, man. But there is kind of a I think an agenda out there against men. I do believe that.
It was feminism. It started back in the 20s with the flappers.
Right.
Trying to be like men.
And it just progressed, and then here we are.
Women hate men but want to be them.
Right.
At the same time.
Figure that one out. It's here. Okay, so one is from Malila. She says, Happy New Year, ladies. So how long, laugh out loud, so how long do you think this COVID, I think she meant COVID situation is gonna be going on for?
So they use up all the vaccines.
Go, get the shot.
That they all.
This
so they use all the vaccines that they ordered.
I know. Okay, so when this whole thing started, what was it, 2 years ago? I'm gonna be honest with you. I really thought that it was gonna last probably until the election. And then I thought that it was going to be kind of over, because I do think it is politicized, to be honest with you. But I did not know it was going to go on for this long. I really, honestly, like, how long has it been? 2 years now. I think about 2 years now. And the whole world's like, I think that there's things they should stop doing, like the mask.
Yeah.
I think that should just be done. Okay, they do your vaccines and whatever you want to do with that, but I just feel like things like that, it doesn't make sense anymore, because the idea is that, well, doctors and scientists are both saying that this is going to be a thing where everyone's going to get it. Everyone's eventually going to get this thing, right? There's different variants, right? And so now they have this new one. What is it? Omicron, yeah. So now they have that one. So there's a lot of, I think, misinformation and no information going on. So as long as there's this much confusion with it, and as long as there's less many people not on the same page, I really feel like it can go on longer.
Yeah.
And I feel like they want it to go on longer, or maybe they don't know how to stop.
I mean, it's just it's politicized. I think they're trying to change society.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I don't think it has anything to do with the
conforming. You want to think they're trying to
just trying to keep everybody at home. I mean, like with the metaverse.
Oh yeah.
Everything is geared to you never ever leaving your house.
Yeah.
Like even like going to the store, you don't have to go to the store anymore. You don't have to go even pick up fast food anymore. The drive-thru wasn't enough. Now they just have Postmates and things just bringing you food that's crappy. You know, they don't want you to have real relationships. They want you to stay far away from people and be disconnected while being connected. And I think that the virus gives them a lot of ways to do that.
Yeah.
Because it keeps you at home. It keeps you away from work. It keeps your kids out of school.
Well, then they also do what's the thing called?
People,
Quarantining and all that.
But that's what I'm saying. They keep kids out of school. They,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's all about keeping people away from each other, you know, and not sharing. Like, you can't even really be around your family anymore. You're not, you know, and also I think because it's been going on so long, that they're realizing that people are waking up to it. Because when this first started, like, you just say like a year ago, a year and a half ago, when this first started, everybody was like a little bit afraid.
Like, were you, like, when, like for...
Most people were afraid.
Like, how long were you afraid for?
A week. Until I realized it's just like, to me, like the flu. So I just feel like I see people walking around with masks that aren't really wearing them, but they're all afraid, but they're not really wearing the mask. I think that the longer this goes on, this is the reason why I think they push for the vaccine so much, is that the longer it goes on, the less afraid people are getting.
And now it's like people are just, like, it's all mental now. Like, people are just...
Like Jimmy Dore. Jimmy Dore was really afraid at first. Now he's not.
Yeah.
He's not. He's literally gotten more information. He's been vaccinated. It hurt him. His vaccine hurt him.
It hurt his arm.
It hurt his arm and neck. And he doesn't know when he'll ever get better. He got this a long time ago. I think people are worried about boosters. They don't want to have to keep going and get a shot every 6 months.
And now they're saying that the booster is a problem. Like, it's unsafe. When this first was happening, we did a video, like, and I know I didn't want to see that video. I didn't want it to seem like we were being flip about it, because it was just happened, right? I'll link that video above you guys want to see. You remember that? It was like, I couldn't believe that people, I don't say gullible. I understand people need to be cautious. I'm not saying that, but it was interesting seeing everyone just to immediately take, everyone's word for it, all the government's word for it, and how, and I'm like, wow, this they really conformed. Like, it is true. You don't really have to have like a whole lot of proof on things anymore. You really don't. And so, but it is true. In order to instill fear in people, which is the idea, right? Instill fear in people, they'll conform, and this is like a good way of seeing it. People will kind of like follow the crowd on things, and they did. Like people did.
Another reason that our phones and our TVs and phones still watch and listen to us now. It's we were afraid of 9/11. We allowed the surveillance state to happen, because as long as they make us scared, then we'll get rid of our freedom, little bits at a time. And we did. And we really have. And COVID's just another. You tell people that there's some weird. We didn't act this way with AIDS. No. The AIDS actually. That is very true. We didn't act like this at all. And AIDS was AIDS. We still don't. It's still around. They still don't have a cure. So it's just like they. But they don't.
Everyone's masked, and it's like what? They weren't like this with AIDS. No.
And when AIDS first started, we knew nothing about that. We thought we could get it from touching, sitting on the same toilet seat. We thought we could, people aren't going to, help people anymore. And we got more information about it. We realized that, virtually sexual interaction and changing
fluids,
needles, changing fluids. But we still, but I don't know, just whenever I see things like this happen, I question everything. So to me, everything isn't set in stone. I don't believe everything Dr. Fauci says.
No. Well, especially since he's flip-flopped on this subject, literally.
On every aspect.
You can catch him any moment and he's saying something different.
But also, even Joe Biden, like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and all of these people, when Trump was in office, said they weren't going to take the vaccine. That they didn't trust it. It didn't have enough research. And now, they don't trust Trump. And now it's like you can't
your arm.
Now they're actually telling kids you can't go to school, and you can't go into if you live in certain states, you can't go into stores, and you can't
It seems very strange that the whole world just kind of
we're divided,
shifted,
and we're like more divided than ever. We're divided into red and blue, and if you live in a red state, your life couldn't be better. If you live in a blue state, you're literally quarantined, basically walking around. You have to have passports. Passports. I mean, we live in a red state, and it's virtually normal.
Yeah, here, we don't. I mean,
and I'm only going to get redder because I want to live in Texas. Right. So to Texas, Florida, Nashville, all those states are free. Like you go there and your freedom is still intact. But you go to California, New York, it makes me glad I left New York. Yeah. And then you have to walk around and give freaking.
Don't they have like that thing to show? Yeah, they have to show like your papers.
No,
what
this
the hell?
is just your medical freedom should be yours. I mean, you should not have to go to a grocery store to buy hot dogs or something, and then someone gets to see your medical history.
Well, yeah, and then like the one, like she's saying, was it Lila? was saying, like, how long is this gonna go on?
It's
I mean,
gonna-
we can't be doing this. You know what I mean? Like, there has to be a moment where this has to be just a virus, as with the flu or any other virus out there. You know, like I said, I think there's a lot of misinformation, you know, on this subject in general, which is why everyone's so conflicted. You know, you have people saying you're anti-vaxxers, you can't get enough vaccines. Some people can't get enough vaccines, and some people are just like, oh no, the vaccines are not really going to work. You know, herd immunity, that's better. You know, it is. So it's kind of like, I think that this is more simplified than what politicians are kind of making.
Also,
this
I mean,
out,
like
making
people
it out
like
to be.
AOC, she was all, you got to get vaccinated or mask, and here she's in Florida with
Yeah.
her husband without a mask. Just
Right.
chilling
But
out.
they all do that.
They all do it.
They all
Obama
do
did
that.
it. They all get caught doing it. You know what I mean?
Not wearing
And so
masks.
the thing is, it's like, yeah, I do as they do.
Yeah.
If Obama's not going to wear a mask,
They know something we don't
I guess
know. If they're not wearing masks, and I'm like, then that must mean they know some stuff that we just don't know. And so I'm gonna do as they do. Okay, and if they're not, look, I can't. I don't like the idea of.
I believe in
being
vaccines.
restricted.
I think you should get vaccinated.
I'm not against vaccines.
No, I think you should. I'm okay with vaccines. I'm okay with modern medicine. Medicine
I think it's your choice.
Medicine has its place. You know what I mean? And definitely, if I ever need it, I'm definitely going to use it. But I think that this should not be.
The way this vaccine came about is why people are so.
If you think you
against
need
it.
protection, then go get the vaccine.
Yeah.
But you don't need to be. If you get the vaccine, other people don't need to get it to protect you if you have it.
Right.
So if you've got the vaccine, then there's no reason. If people choose not to get it, then they choose not to get it. I mean, so to me, it's like
How long do you think it's going to go on for, though?
as long as people vote these people in. The thing is, it's like we live in a country where we're able to vote people in and out, and Republican states know that. They know that conservative voters are like, okay, well, look, thanks for the vaccine. They'll choose to get it or not, and some of them have. Most, they have, but they're not with this. I got to do it, or I can't go to work.
Yeah, that's,
you know what I mean. Now you're telling me now you're telling me I can't make a living. You know what I mean?
Like,
and
what?
so that's just But Democratic voters are very okay with authoritarianism. It's very very interesting that people who call themselves liberals, who want freedom to say and do whatever they want, don't feel the same way when it comes to like freedom of speech. They like people to be silenced. And they don't feel the same and this is why I love being a Democrat, because I felt like I like freedom.
Yeah.
I like my country. So the thing is, what I like about our country is our Constitution, the fact that we have rights here. The other countries, which is the reason why a lot of people come to our country, is the reason why they come here, is because you have the right to be successful, you have the right, to a trial. You don't just go straight to the, to
a lot of countries are not like that.
You know what I mean? We have rights here, and so for you just to say I can't go to work because I choose not to get a vaccine, but you got one, right? So if you got the vaccine, then
we're good, right?
You don't have very much faith in your vaccine if you think that other people have to get it so you can be safe.
When is it going to end, Lila?
Don't know.
Hopefully soon. One says this is from Tam. I guess Tam. This is random, but how old is too old to call the person you're in a relationship with boyfriend and girlfriend? Laugh out loud. How old is too old? Oh, because I guess it's weird when you're
not a boy or girl
when you're
anymore.
like 40, 30. It's like, I don't want to call myself boyfriend and girl. I don't know. Do you guys? I'm not in a relationship, but when I am, I guess I refer to him as a boyfriend because that's what it is. I don't know if it is weird when you get to a certain age though.
Well, most men, like I've actually had conversations with guys who say that if I like you, then because when you're a certain age anymore, you don't need to date people for a long time.
I know.
You know what I mean? That's only really true for people in their like 20s and things. Yeah. But once you're in your like 40s and stuff, you've been around a little longer, and you know if you like someone or not. You know what I mean? You know if you want to be with someone forever. Most people will just get married. Most men don't want to be called boyfriend. Right.
But anybody that's not gonna take it to that next level is really just a commitment issue at that point. I mean, at that point, there's something else there. I don't know what it is, but
whenever I have a relationship with a guy who's if I feel like whenever I date someone, which I don't date a lot, I just don't want to.
Yeah,
I'm not
still
someone
next
who
to
does.
that.
I'm not a career dater.
Yeah.
I'm like someone who goes every once in a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But whenever I do like someone,
Mm-hmm.
where I feel like he starts talking about the future right away.
Yeah, like
so it just,
I don't.
To me,
yeah, I don't.
I never have to pry it
Yeah.
or anything. Usually at the first
That's the worst.
couple months, if I'm dating him, he'll start asking me what I want to do, you know, later, or like
Yeah.
what do I want,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, do I want to get married?
Yeah.
They already start talking about that.
I always feel like it's
relationship.
so unattractive. I feel like just a personal opinion, but it's so unattractive when women are trying to pry that out of their man. If it's been going on, if your relationship has been going on too long, and you're wanting it to reach another level, then you guys missed the whole conversation somewhere in there. Because you know what I mean. Like if you guys, that means you're not on the same page. If you're seeing someone and it's been like a year and a half or whatever, and you're like, okay, we know each other, we saw each other, we met each other's families, we get it, okay, we're together. And I think that there's there's a point where it's just like you shouldn't have to start prying things out of a guy. Like Kara said, like when I'm dating a guy, I don't have to do that. Like he's a lead. I always think of men as leaders anyways. So the men I date, I see them as leaders. So they take that conversation as initiative. They take the initiative to have that conversation with me. So I don't have to sit here and wonder when I'm going to be a wife.
Yeah.
I already know that he's married minded. You know,
most
he's
older
marriage
men
minded.
are ready to move on.
Yeah,
very quickly.
I think every guy I've dated.
If I date a man
yeah.
that's in his 50s, he's not going to sit around here dating me for an entire year.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? And he's not going to call me his girlfriend for, you know, and you know, I don't want to call you my boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, to me, I feel like as you get older, it progresses fast. You know what I mean? It doesn't, when you're younger, I think long relationships are sometimes better, because when you're in your 20s, you're growing into who you're going to be. You're trying to figure out who you are, where you belong in life. And a lot of times what happens with young relationships is that they grow apart, because once you figure out who you are, but you've already been married, sometimes you grow apart because you become...
Yeah, you got married when you were 21 and
you really didn't know
up.
much about life,
right.
you know what I mean? But
when you're 30,
when you hit 35, 40, you kind of know where you are in life now. Most people are in the careers they want. Most people have dated enough to understand the type of person that they're sitting across from them at a table. You know what I mean? So I don't use boyfriend, girlfriend terms. I don't like that. I think it's corny after a certain amount of time. First of all, we're not boys, and we're not kids anymore. We're grown ups. So sitting here calling me your girlfriend like I'm 18.
Yeah, we're about to go to high school dance. No, that's not a thing.
Just call me Kara.
A guy that I was dating before, we talked about this before, and he said, I think that like I should call you wifey. I said nope. No. I said no.
I mean, I haven't done this in my life.
I said don't call me anything with the word wife until I'm actually a wife. Like I don't like that whole thing either. That wifey thing. I mean that's really popular, right? Everyone says, hey, wifey. Hubby,
there's some people that's my lady.
I always feel like that's good.
I like that.
I like that.
I like when a man says that's my lady.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because that is what I am, a lady.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm his lady.
Or that's my man. You're my man. I guess okay. That sounds I think the boyfriend girlfriend thing should stop.
But it's only going to be so long. You see what I'm saying? And sometimes things like that are good. Be said, because it makes you realize how silly you sound. Yeah, when we're gonna progress, it helps people progress faster when they realize they don't want to walk around calling you my girlfriend. Right. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think that
how old is too old? If you were to pick an age, how old is too old to be called
after 35?
Yeah, I would say after. I would say after 35. That sounds about right. Somewhere in your 30s. Okay, and then. Hello, K&D. This is from Terrence. Seen any new movies? No.
I don't like movies today. I watch old movies only. Like, I mean, literally all the movies I watch are from the 70s and 80s, because I really think that was when the best movies really were.
I agree with that.
I think after the 70s and 80s, really, I mean, you could say movies like the Titanic was epic, you know what I mean? But how long are you gonna talk about that?
I try, and it's funny because I'll be searching through Netflix for, ever trying to find a good movie. There's really little trailers, and I just feel like all the movies are either all kind of like the same, or it just isn't. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like someone told me to watch that movie with Sandra Bullock. She has a new movie out on Netflix, and I'm just like, I saw the previews and thought, okay, but this doesn't seem like a good. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't seem like a good movie to me. But it is hard to find a good movie. I give movies about 20 minutes.
Most movies today, the reason why I don't like them because they're so woke.
Yeah.
Everything is woke.
So it's hard to focus on the movie. They
focus more on the politics of things
and the PSAs
than the storyline.
Right.
So there got to be enough women. There got to be enough men. There got to be enough gay people. There's got to be enough transgender now. There's got to be enough Asian people. There's got to be enough women who are acting like men. There's got to be enough men who paint their toenails. Like, you know what I mean? But it's just like they want to make sure that everybody isn't offended first. Yeah. That's the most important thing in TV and in movies.
You remember what we were talking about when we did the Halloween? Y'all saw the Halloween review that we did? That's the thing, is that we couldn't even, the movie itself was like laughable, but that wasn't even it. Is that there was so much focus on trying to make sure that everything is politically correct. Everyone's the inclusion part. That's how it is with most movies now. So I haven't really gotten into, we actually even going to the movies, because when we went to go see like Halloween, the previews did not look good. Like the previews, all these up and coming movies, I thought this is not a good thing. Like movie making, I think it's not like it was then, which is why we watch a lot of older stuff. Now, I would say like with TV shows, I've been trying to venture out and look at newer TV shows, or I guess like I've watched I've been watching Ozark. That's a really good show. That's a really good writing. And then what's the other one? Breaking Bad, which is an older show, but it's for me. Because I watch stuff from like the 50s and to the 70s, like Kara said. So for me to watch something that's somewhere in the 2000s, then that's a breakthrough for me. But those shows are pretty good. I like both of those. But when I watch like movies and things, I gear towards documentaries. Like I do. And I think someone asked us before what is one of our favorite documentaries. So we had talked about this before a long time ago. And one of my favorite ones are usually the ones where it talks about cults. Like I like I don't know, I just think it's so fascinating to me when the whole world of cults. My favorite one though is Wild Wild Country. That has to be the best docuseries. If y'all have not seen that, I think it's still on Netflix. Yeah. It should still be on Netflix, but it's not. You guys gotta see that. But Wild Wild Country is really good. The Source Family is really good. Anything with Charles Manson, that whole situation is really interesting. I like documentaries. I gear more towards that. I like to see real life stuff, like what happened. Why were the cults so big in the 70s? Like the 70s, like it opened up this whole world, especially in LA, in California.
I like just old TV shows and stuff, but old movies. Everything I watch is really old, like 50s, 60s, and 70s, 80s, sometimes 90s, sometimes.
Usually when I watch that,
when computers enter the building, I enter out. It's just like as soon as I start seeing
people with cell phones and stuff.
Yeah, it's just like I get a little turned off by it, because everything is on a computer now, and I just don't want to hear about the computers anymore. I'm enough with the computers. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then also everything else is either going to be it's either that, or then it's just like these really super gory movies, like movies like Saw and things like that, where it makes me sad about life. Like it makes me
like Purge and
like
all
the
that.
Purge and things like that, where I feel like I don't want to be depressed. This is sad. You know what I mean? Like this is, you know what I mean? Even though that stuff probably really happens, it's just like I don't watch TV to be sad. You know what I mean?
Right. we were saying this before, is that Kara, remember you said that your style, I guess what you gravitate to is more of, I would say, happier. You do. Yeah. Right, you gravitate more to that. Now Kara's personality, this is the interesting part when you said this. I didn't even recognize it until she said it. But the interesting part is that Kara's personality, as y'all know, is more serious. Kara is more of a serious demeanor to her, right? Personality is natural for her. And then I'm more silly, you could say, or not as serious, but I don't know. Like I'm more jovial. Is that a better word? But I geared more towards dark stuff, like darker. Like I like to know about the psychological of like a serial killer. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like what happened? Like I really want to know what happened to their actual brains. Like what's going on there? You know, so I think it's interesting that I'm more jovial, but I gear towards this, and then you're not as jovial, and you kind of go more towards the heavy thing. It has to be something to that. I feel like there has to be something to that. But
well, because I know the horrors of life, I don't need to watch it all the time.
Right,
you know
and I do
too.
but
it's like I like politics, which is just as serious. You know what I mean? But I think it's because I understand the seriousness of life. I know why people are nuts.
Yeah.
A lot of it's either because they were raised really bad with bad parents, or because they have a screw loose. Some people are just chemically off. You know what I mean? And so I kind of understand that about people. But it just, after you watch it, it kind of makes you like, it kind of gives me a downer. I feel like I'm being, you know.
See, I don't feel that way. Even like their actual like scientific part of it, their brain. Like they were doing this thing on Jeffrey Dahmer, like serial killers' brains. And that was really fascinating to me because I'm like, wow, you know, they do have some kind of a different, it's not wired the same. Like that's, the scientifically it's just kind of fascinating to me. And then also just the social part of it also is interesting. But like, I don't know, I just find like, I like puzzle pieces and I like mystery and true crime type stuff. You know, like I think that stuff's fascinating. I don't know, a lot of people don't, but I just think it's kind of fascinating. Recently,
If I like to watch anything, especially if it's like documentaries, to me it's about powerful people. I like to watch powerful people, like presidents, and kings and queens. Like one of my favorite, I guess one of my very favorite updated shows that's on Netflix would be the Crown. I do like that
Crown's
show.
Good.
I like royal. I like to hear about how powerful people perceive the world.
Yeah.
From their point of view. You know what I mean? From their point of view, how they see things, and then all of the things that because their life is based on where there could be actual solutions to things.
Oh yeah, you mean like social solutions and
but they won't
political
do it.
stuff,
Because there's also being, you know, it's like it's because most powerful people are also being controlled. So it just makes you, that's the interesting part, I think, about things like that. When you watch what you conceive, like if people always think like when they see somebody like Donald Trump, for instance. Yeah. Well, he looks like someone who's
at the top,
who can do whatever, but somebody is telling him what to do.
You can't.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I mean, like that's a good example. Because when he got into office, I honestly believe that he thought that he was going to be able to implement the rules and the policies that he wanted. I really believe. I think Putin said this. They're like, I think that he thought when he got into office, this is how it would be. And he's kind of arrogant, you know, like Trump is arrogant, so he's kind of vocal about being arrogant, but he is. Yeah. And so when he got into office, the idea of what people are saying is that the real people come in. Once you get elected and get into the office, get sworn in, that then you meet the real people who are running the show. So it is like interesting to see power be trumped.
Yeah. It's interesting to see how we see people. You know what I mean? Like I've seen like when I look at famous people, I just look at them as people, because I realize most of these people it's mostly all an illusion anyway. You know what I mean? Like a little bit of fame, you're still like they're probably not even interesting.
One of the most interesting thing is that I'm happy we even got to ever live in New York City, because we saw a lot of famous people, and we met a couple, you know, some famous people, and you know, like it is interesting how people see that they're just people. You know what I mean? I feel like they're just people, and people glamorize them.
Because it's its own trap. Like everybody thinks like you don't have money, that you can't do anything, you can't go anywhere. Then you look at the people who have everything, and then they're just as trapped by their wealth as we are as most people would be with poverty. Yeah. So when people don't have any money, they think they can't do anything, they can't go anywhere, they can't have what they want. But then when you see people can have whatever they want, go anywhere they want, they seem to be trapped by that too, because now they can't lose it. Yeah. Because if they lose it, you know, it's one thing to be the interesting thing about fame is that you can't be a poor famous person. No. Once you're on top, you have to stay on top. You have to stay there. And so a lot of those people are very driven politically. Even if they don't agree with what they're saying or doing,
they will follow.
They'll follow it because they want to be able to keep their checks. Right. You know, whenever I watch shows like The View, I know those people are smarter than they are. Yeah. Those women are not that dumb. But the truth is that they are part of a political strategy that tells them they have to say what they have to say or they won't have a job. Well, any mainstream media, because even when I watch, I've seen, what's her name, Rachel Maddow on MSNBC. She's on MSNBC, right? I know she's smarter than this.
I know she is, but when someone's paying you, $30,000 a day, basically, it averages out to be about that, right? Then you're going, and you're staying in this place, MSNBC. You're gonna do what the machine is telling you to do.
Yeah, it's just like
you're gonna say what
all
they
these rich black people that are always constantly telling other black people that they're oppressed all the time, and I'm like, yeah, but you don't really believe that.
I know.
How can you believe that, Don Lemon?
Yeah.
How can you believe that, Van Jones? You guys are all multimillionaires. Oprah Winfrey. You don't really believe that. You're saying that because somebody else is telling you to say that. Because there's a narrative that they want black people to feel about themselves, and you're part of the narrative.
Yeah.
So it's just like you can be wealthy as long as you make sure all other black people feel like they can't be.
Yeah. Say stuff like, I wish I was Oprah Winfrey. I'm like, why?
Why? You don't know what she
when people say stuff like that, I always go, why? Tell me. I want to hear. Why do you wish you were? What's different about Oprah than about you? Now, I understand the woman's a billionaire or whatever. She has all this stuff in the world. Okay, we get that. But what exactly is it that she has that you believe that you can't?